Hello and welcome back.
The mic is super hot.
It was something on Saturday Night Live.
Jeff, we're recording.
Oh, we are recording
Upload
that.
on
I was scrolling through my notes.
Also, it's Friday.
I didn't know we had a steady day on which we uploaded.
No.
That's very impressive.
It's, this is going to be our first Friday. Okay. Okay. I'm good, and we're recording, so we can go.
This was a solid cold open.
Solid, yeah. Is all planned.
Didn't have enough politics in it.
Oh shit. And welcome back to the 7 Star to the Right podcast.
Man.
What are you laughing at, David?
Fantastic.
Nothing, Jeff.
This is the 18th session on the first Friday that we're ever recording, because normally it's a Sunday afternoon, so people are going to have drinks in hand, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I've never drank during the podcast.
Absolutely
Never.
not. We're professionals
Sunday
here.
afternoon.
I mean, I
Who
think
drinking
we're
a Sunday
technically
afternoon,
amateurs here, but we're professional amateurs here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Are we?
We're really good at being meh.
Yeah, the only drink I enjoy is an ice cold beer.
Space Sam Adams.
Yeah. The crisp taste of
Please
Robo
stop.
Sam
Robo
Adams.
Sam Adams. All right.
Mm.
So
The crisp metallic taste.
is that lead?
Made from real robots.
All right. What do you guys remember from last session?
Stuff.
Open question to the table.
Stuff.
Alix had a Robo Sam Adams.
Oh, you
That's
did.
it. That's all I got.
And Alix did spill, I think, like a third of it as he was
All right.
jerked away.
All right.
I guess.
Roll for balance.
The rest was given to somebody else.
I rolled 3d6 and dropped the highest.
Yeah. We ran into Zuri, and all my other friends are
All
gone.
right.
Yep.
That's true. My kid
And all my
is
friends.
very sad right now. Sorry.
Yeah, so we started last session right after you guys effectively got out of the starport and heard that troubling news about the McRaven being back and in jail. You guys saw a little bit of what was Ursimian sort of hospitality has towards the people of a psychic nature. As you left there and went down into the depths of Brees, not
Yes,
Bree.
Brees. There are multiple cheeses.
There
They're all Brees.
are multiple, except it's 2 E's rather than an I-E.
Well,
so.
whatever. We don't
yeah.
have to worry about spelling. This is
You
an
don't-
audio medium.
You don't
That's
decide
true. I mean, I do decide it.
I can spell
We've
Breeze
been
however
over
I want.
this. I am God. Anyway.
You've named so many things that I wrote down in a way that you definitely didn't spell.
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
I just give up. I spell phonetically. I'm like, this person's name
And
is this.
definitely be prepared for some of the things that are coming up to just not really have a good way to spell them.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. I'll
Do you mean
let
spell
you
them
know.
so you can pronounce them or spell them correctly? Because that's two very
I
separate
would
things.
say spell them correctly, but I
Oh,
can't
okay.
also say that some of the things that I've written down I will pronounce correctly.
Oh.
So it's kind of like
It's
a
a
game
free-for-all,
of
Pim.
telephone where you're getting bad information directly from me.
Fun.
Love it.
So, Micah, you tried to reach your group. Couldn't find them. Couldn't get a hold of them. It was clearly raided by people. You went to the Rusty Lantern, talked with Isabel briefly. And at that point, Zuri walked in and you guys had a chat with them. You found a very fun, interesting note within the group headquarters.
Yeah, we also moved into a crime scene, I believe, more or less.
Yeah, to stitch Zuri up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on our way out now, but we did do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
I
got-
thought we were splitting the party.
We did that.
Yeah.
And then we're meeting back up in the thing
Oh, got it. Right, right.
to go talk to Cyril Sharpclaws. The
Of
bear
course.
with sharp claws.
Who needs no
The
introduction?
sharpest of the claws. And yet we've introduced him so many times.
You better be good, Jeff.
I swear to God.
I don't know. He better be better than damn space pandas. So,
I
Man,
like
you
Rodana-
set the bar. You set the
Rodana's
bar
got a
there.
good name.
The bamboo bar.
It has been set. Will you raise it?
So
Or limbo below it.
you guys found that funky message that only Nona could read,
Yep.
and she
We did
tried
science.
she tried to do a bunch of science on it, and it seems that for whatever reason, it is the intent of trying to reveal whatever this is to the world as a whole. But she can read it just fine. You guys sent Claire and Micah back to pick up some integrity stims, I believe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
quick
All
healing
of them.
things.
Do you guys you keep track of what Claire has on her? I don't want to keep track of that.
What?
She's
She's
like a
whole
pack mule.
other person.
Yeah, I've got a whole like universe of people to keep track of. You can
Yes, you
keep
should
track
be really
of one other
good at
person.
it. Right?
I can write it on my sheet. Claire 5 stems.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, wait, no, I was the one carrying them. She was like masking me.
Oh, that's fair. She was
Fine.
masking the both of you.
Okay.
So you're carrying them.
Wait,
now.
I have Claire's inventory up right here, and it says she has Dr. Samantha Calvin.
Hooray!
Whoa!
The
Whoa!
search is
I
over.
found her. She was in my backpack the whole time.
She is dead.
It turns out it's not good for
It's
a
not
human
good.
being to be in a backpack.
Completed.
Hooray!
Many questions for Claire.
Task failed successfully.
Yeah, she used that new power that she has, suppress cognition, in order to get you guys past security, the couple of people who were watching you, and you just strolled right out with those stims.
Damn straight.
Yep. And then I think you guys that's sort of where it ended, where you guys were planning on going deeper into the tunnels of Brees, a little bit farther away from where prying eyes and the sort of police influence. Because as you go deeper down, it's harder for the police to sort of manage that. So it gets just a little bit like anarchy farther down, which is why people like Cyril Sharpclaws show up.
Dun, dun.
One
Dun,
thing-
dun, dun.
One thing I will call out is that while the whole STEM pack adventure thing is happening, if there is, I'm assuming I'm still back in the hideout area, just chilling, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I want to go through everybody's stuff. Because you
I'm
said
not-
there
I'm
was
still
like
there.
things. No. You said like there was like I think you said like backpacks strewn about. So I'm just
Yeah.
picturing like things were raided in a hurry and they left a lot of stuff behind. I want to know what stuff is there.
You go through some of this stuff, and I think Zuri is with you. They're watching you as you do this, and it's like, yeah, we don't have a ton, but I guess feel free to look through it. And as you go through,
I am bad at
it's
social cues.
Couple of Tic Tacs.
Keeping
a
those.
couple of Tic Tacs. Just it's pretty standard stuff for just like regular old people. So clothes,
Just old people.
Is there any
rations,
rope?
Pills,
lots and lots of
dentures.
pills and no.
Is there a screwdriver?
But they do have like some information just about like different silence operatives movements, about
Sure.
points of interest around Strania, and as well as Ostia and just Risiame in general, dossiers about different important figures, just general intel that they have on the enemy
Does anybody
quotation
have
marks
any rope?
as a whole. Does anyone have any rope? Yeah,
No.
sure, they have some rope.
Can I have that rope?
Sure, you can have the rope.
Hooray!
How much rope is it?
Well, we can discuss that.
Yeah,
I won't make
you have
you-
a length of rope that would fit in a backpack,
Fantastic.
which is an amount, which I will later say.
Yeah. We'll figure that out later.
But
Rope. I'm also looking for like if there's any basic. Well, I guess we've got. I keep forgetting what all the tools are. I think we might already have that. Basically, I'm weaponless right now, so anything that can remarkably
I
be used
believe
as a
Zuri
tool or a
handed
weapon.
you guys.
Oh yeah. You're totally right. You gave
a
us a pistol.
laser pistol.
I still want the rope though.
Okay, that's all right. And
Was that your backup weapon?
Well,
Was that the
no, it
plan?
was more for we ran into a situation many episodes ago when it would have been very useful to have some rope, and we didn't have rope, and so my inner RPG person is like, we gotta have
Oh,
rope.
It is very useful.
it is.
Gotta have rope around. He can tie stuff to things,
That's
strap
it.
things together, not lose people in a fog.
Mm-hmm.
These are all variants on tie things.
Yeah, I
Two
mean,
other
mostly
things.
ropes are for tying things, but it turns out it's super useful to be able to tie things to other things.
Even in a sci-fi setting.
Even in a sci-fi setting. Well, I was going to originally go get like some steel cable or something, which is sci-fi rope, but then I forgot. This is better because you can cut it.
All right. So you got that rope. We'll say about like 50 feet of rope. That seems like a reasonable amount.
Nice.
Nice. Rope obtained. Quest completed.
Level up.
No, what are
not
you fucking
yet.
around with?
I keep track of that.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
swear.
fair.
So yeah, you're going through, and the what's the best way to call you guys, Micah? I don't want to call it a terrorist cell because
Oi, come on.
a group that they're
Aren't
freedom
they just
fighters.
called? Don't they have an official name? Aren't they like
The terrorists.
Acolytes of the end.
Feel
Yeah,
like
so let's call them the acolytes of the end.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
we're not the only ones. They're kind of different clusters. You could call us a cluster, a group, or something like that.
Yeah,
Are you like the Delta
group.
chapter of the...
The group has a couple of small arms, particularly just laser.
well, that's rude. Insult these people. It's hard to get to the gym. Okay.
All right. And by that, I mean laser pistols and stuff like that. So you guys can kit yourself out if you need to or want to as you hang out with Zuri. And Claire and Micah eventually find their way back. Is there anything you guys immediately want to do before heading down deeper into Brees? People you want to talk to, places you want to visit?
No, I think essentially the plan was that we want to go deeper into the city, maybe scope out a place that isn't a crime scene where we can stay, whether it's a nicer or not so nice accommodation, and then go see Mr. Cyril.
Are we planning on taking the hover bikes with us, or would that not be a good plan?
I mean, they're nice. I think we should.
Yeah. I mean, we
Like-
take them and then we leave them somewhere. Last time we ran into the problem of not being able to lock them up places.
Oh, yeah. No.
people
We
would
shouldn't
steal
leave them on the street. That's not going to go
Yeah.
well.
Do
we can
that.
take
So
them
we're
with
just gonna like walk into
Are the tunnels going to be wide enough for them? Does it get narrow enough? I don't
Should
know
be
this.
like
As the deepest reaches of Breeze, you probably wouldn't be able to drive side by side, but because it is a bike, you might still be able to drive it. People who are walking in the same area probably wouldn't be super happy, and it would be slow going, but you could probably go about as deep as you need to go single file on the bikes.
Okay. I'm reminded of the bicyclists that Philip detests.
God, let's not start.
I'm sorry, but people will not be happy with you and your hover bike. I'm
No
like,
freaking kidding.
anyway.
For people who are not familiar with Philip, he hates bicyclists with a passion,
Not all
that-
bicyclists, just the jerk ones.
which is most bicyclists.
It's a bit of an overgeneralization. But yes.
Anywho, all right. So you guys are heading down. What exactly are you looking for? Are you looking to squat somewhere? Are you looking for like a hotel to stay at or something? Like how low key are you guys trying to go for?
Micah's trying to find somewhere to squat.
Okay.
I think it's best if we get Zuri as far away from anyone else who might be able to ID him as possible.
Okay.
Cool.
There's also the issue that there's now 5 of you
Yeah.
and 2 spots on the 2 bikes. Is someone going to be walking?
Well, Zuri's injured, so they should get a bike.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I can walk.
Okay.
I can't drive.
Does that mean Claire's driving?
Well, hold on.
Alex can.
I can
walk.
drive.
Alex can walk.
I
Alex-
forgot I'm one of our like only
No,
drivers.
I'm not touching that thing. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
All right.
So you guys start making your way deeper into Breeze, and as I sort of described last session, there is sort of natural light that sort of is able to funnel in via these different sort of like sun channels down into the top level of the underground parts of Breeze. But as you get deeper and deeper down, that light doesn't travel as far as well. So it becomes more and more just like LEDs and just regular electricity. So a little bit of a harsher light rather than just this nice sort of natural light that flows in.
Everybody just has seasonal effectiveness disorder down here.
Oh yeah.
They don't get enough vitamin D.
And as you sort of notice this change, like you notice that the street that you were on just gets skinnier and skinnier, more crude. It's not as nicely sort of tunneled out. There's more sporadic and well, not sporadic. There's more tightly packed together hovels that people sort of dive into. And also like as you go deeper down, the streets themselves just start to wind, as it seems like the person digging it or the architect wasn't really trying to do anything in particular, just go deeper down, give more space. So they're a little bit more haphazard as you go deeper and deeper down. And can you guys make like a wisdom notice check for me, please?
Gosh darn it, Jeffrey.
It is my most used one, but I can't think of a better way to notice things.
11.
6.
Ha! 10! Even with my -1.
And Alix, being on foot, is a little bit more aware of the surroundings, doesn't have to worry about driving a vehicle, and notices a nice little alcove where there doesn't appear to be any light coming from it. Doesn't see anyone sort of paying it much mind, and suggests that you guys maybe go there as the spot to hide out if you would like.
Yeah, maybe we go over there to that spot as a little hideout, if you like. I don't know if there's any better place. Or how much longer we're going down to the cave where the bear is?
I think, yeah, that seems like a decent spot. I think we're far enough down now into the cruder tunnels.
Right.
That probably no one's going to come looking for us here.
So, okay. And just to be clear, we are talking to this bear, Cyril, to what? Get help? We're looking for more people to do the breakout?
Well, yeah, we've got to bust my team out. And
Right.
I may not like the guy, but he can help us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah?
Prison break.
Yeah,
That weird
prison break.
Have you done a prison break
This
before?
is just a, yeah. You seem pretty confident. You had kind of a escape plan.
These things happen from time to time. Listen, Cyril's good for the job. Don't overthink it. It's just
No, I don't-
do what we
I-
gotta
I'm
do.
No, but have you done a prison break before?
One time we have done prison break before, but my
Not
team
like
is
the show. You didn't just marathon prison break and now you're like, aha, tattoos.
With maps.
Okay, no, there was another time when Kynan didn't get nabbed on a job and we had to break him out. But aside from that, we're very good. We don't get caught by the police.
I mean,
And-
one time is more than the 0 we have, so I'm happy with that.
Zuri pipes up at that, and they say, Micah, I was able to see the inside of the jail and just teleport in and out, and it was just one of us that time. This is going to require a little bit more nuance than that.
What?
And more bears.
And maybe more bears.
Cyril's got a diverse skill set that he can help. Well, it's a narrow skill set. He can help with a variety of things. Let's put it that way.
So we're
Don't stress about it.
no, but okay. Very, very calmly. We're asking him to just kind of handle it. Is that what kind of banking on his resources? This person.
Yeah, we're gonna have a negotiation.
What do we have to negotiate?
I'm not giving up the bikes. They're very useful.
So he does tend to like to work. I mean, he likes money, obviously. Possibly favors that we can talk about. Is that a problem, Alix?
Always.
Say something.
Always.
If you've got a problem, bud.
Yeah, well, there are a couple that I'm working through. My brain is very active for some unknown reason. Spending a lot of time thinking. I don't mind some level of danger here. I suppose if you have precedent, if you have something to go off of, if the Cyril is going to help, and if it doesn't involve hurting somebody here, who doesn't. Basically, Micah, I'm saying if you're going to indebt yourself, that's your choice and perfectly fine. If you're trying to get my promise for something, it might be a little bit harder for that. I don't know these people. I'm sorry. It's just,
No,
it's
Alix,
hard.
I'm not trying to sign you up for anything. Listen, you're not going to get hurt. I'm not trying to get you on the hook for anything. This is my team. So, like, yeah, listen, if you want to sit it out, you can pop a squat right here in this little hut. And
I don't like
you
that
can stick
option very
around.
much
I
either.
would recommend against
just
that.
kind of, you know, I was, yeah, it's bad. It's a lot. Okay, well, just saying, you know.
No, I mean, I hear you. Not going to get you embroiled in anything that you don't want to be a part of. All right. This is my business. I appreciate you guys coming along. You don't have to stick your neck out. It's fine.
Okay. Well, it's very dirty here. I don't like it. If I'm going to end up anywhere, I'm going to be above ground again. So I'll follow down for a little bit and we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
Out of character, you're a little bit stuck if you can't drive a bike. I mean, I guess you could walk.
I've been walking.
There
Oh, that's
are
right.
other vehicles that have sort of been around, but this deep down, you might need to
forgot about
walk
that.
a little bit in order to catch one of those sort of taxi services.
Mm.
So to describe a little bit what you guys see when you enter, you come into this fairly squat room. It has a fairly low ceiling. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to sort of dig things out. It has some furniture just sort of strewn about, a couple of chairs that seem to be in okay shape, a completely and utterly broken table with one of its legs just completely shattered. And you see over in the corner a bunch of spent syringes. But you look around, there just seems to be this singular room. It doesn't appear to have any other rooms within this sort of little alcove. The door itself is large enough for to bring the bikes into if you would like, or you could leave them outside. But it's small, a little rough, and definitely dirty, but it is definitely big enough to fit all five of you. Yes, all five of you, and the two bikes in as well, if you wish.
I'm going
Okay.
to kick the wall, see if it's structurally sound enough.
It was, and then.
It is absolutely structurally sound enough.
All right.
Just one of the things that you also know about Ursimian geology is the nature of the rocks that make up Orisiame. As you get farther down, they get harder and harder because of everything that is sort of pressing down on top of it. So as you go farther down, it gets harder to dig, but it is also a lot more structural. So this is very solid stuff that you are hitting, and it doesn't feel like there's any possibility of a cave-in.
All right. Yeah, this will work.
Okay.
And set Zuri down, bring in the bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, strike up a conversation with Zuri. So it's been a little while since I was back. I've been off doing my thing. Where do we find Cyril these days?
It's about the level that we are currently on. You just need to go through a couple of those different districts. Definitely watch your back going through those for pickpockets or anything like that.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's pretty much a straight shot. He hasn't really moved from where he has been. You might need to make a little bit of noise to see if he's hopped locations, but he's in the same territory as he always has. Micah, I can help. I can, but I think if I take another shot like that, I'm at least soon. If I take another shot like that, I'm not gonna be around.
I know that's hard for
that
you.
is one way to put that. Just
Zuri isn't comfortable with the concept of death. One thing
Nobody's
we've
had the
learned.
talk with him yet.
Noted personality
Death
trait.
talk.
and they continue and say, and I can help with teleporting people in and out. You know that, but I can only take one person at a time. I'm not strong enough to take a whole all three of them out at the same time. We need to figure out a way to do this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you come with us when we go in for our little chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, Cyril kind of sucks, but I'm not expecting there to be like a firefight over us just going in to have a talk.
No, he's a businessman of sorts.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
got integrity, I guess.
And they Zuri takes a smile at that and definitely nods and like, yeah, they definitely do have some sense of integrity. And
I'd say a word for it.
they sit down on one of the unbroken chairs and just sort of rest a little bit while on it. Are you guys immediately heading there right now?
Briefly, when people are while people are still gathered, Alix is gonna kind of perk up and go, okay, before we go, I do want to talk a little bit of business. First, worst case scenario, now that we don't have kind of a behold a collective contract to fall back off of, I figure if stuff goes south, this is first place to meet back up. If for whatever reason this is not dangerous or this is too dangerous to come here, Rusty Lantern, if we can't make it there for whatever reason, the ship.
Yeah, good plan.
Okay.
Agreed.
Claire pipes up and says, "Yeah, I think that'll work. Are we leaving someone behind to watch the bikes? Are we only sending a small group to see Cyril?"
We're going to take the bikes and bring them in as intimidation tactics.
I think
I've killed someone with this.
And rev the engine outside.
Whenever anybody tries to talk and says things you don't like, you just
Alix, you sound like you didn't really want to come. You could watch the bikes.
I'm not going to watch the bikes. I'm going to go up. I might not go
Okay.
inside whatever building they have. They have a building? What's the
You're
situation
talking
like?
to
To Zuri and to Micah, just kind of out to the room.
They'll they'll definitely have some guards and a group put together at some sort of fortified location. That's generally how he works. Only really sees people that he's meaning to see. Doesn't like people dropping in on him uninvited. So
Let's take the hover bikes over. Can we turn the hover bikes around in the thing, or would we have to just like reverse up the tunnel
the
if we were being?
there would be places where you could turn around, but as you at the depth that you are currently, it is not possible without like an opening to sort of turn into and then back out of.
Got it.
You have to do a 3-point turn really quickly.
It's starting to get pretty narrow. Think of like a subway tunnel, not with a subway, but like walking to the subway. Just sort of can fit like maybe 2 or 3 people across.
Let's leave them here, and if we need to retreat on foot, we do. Or I guess we could. Other option: take the hover bikes down as deep as we can go. Take it by foot. Get back to the hover bikes in case of a speedy escape. Though I don't know how useful they actually are in the tunnels.
I like that plan.
Okay.
We can try that.
So yeah, we're
Fine.
gonna take the hover bikes as deep as we can into the tunnels, without necessarily being in sight of the building,
Okay.
so that they don't necessarily know that they're there. If we can stash them somewhere that they can't be easily got into by other people, that'd be ideal. But if we need to like leave them somewhere, then that's fine.
Yeah, at this level, there's not really like a parking lot with a parking attendant, right?
Right.
Anywhere that you leave these things, unless it is like in one of these alcoves that you guys are currently sitting in, people will be able to see it and do whatever they want to it. Now, they won't have the keys or to specifically start them, but these are nice hover bikes. This is not such a great part of town. It's not unrealistic that they might get stolen.
I'm feeling like if we leave it in the alcove, though, that's more obvious. Maybe I am misimagining how this works, but like if you were looking for stuff to trash, wouldn't you go to those places as opposed to going all the way down a tunnel?
The thing is, the tunnels get some foot traffic. So
okay,
there's
fine.
one
We can
thing of
leave them here, I guess. And if I can, I think if it's possible, cool. If it's not possible, whatever. I'd like to do my minor sabotage thing, like find a wire, cut a wire, and then like later on put it back together if needed.
okay. And you're doing this on the hover bikes themselves?
Yeah, basically, so somebody can't immediately. I mean, I know they don't have the keys, and like it's quite possible they're going to get trashed anyway. But like, don't want anybody who knows how to hotwire to be immediately able to just ride off on them if that's a thing that's of a concern. I don't really know how technology works.
Yeah, can you roll an intelligence fix check for me, please?
Sure thing. 12.
Okay. So you are quite familiar with how these bikes sort of work, just with being around them for so long and probably tinkering a little bit with them to begin with.
I fixed them.
You fixed them up, even though there was sort of more less structural and more cosmetic damage.
Sure.
You're familiar with how these bikes work, and you are able to extract a couple of components from them that are without them wouldn't be easy to start, and someone would need to have a relatively high familiarity with these particular bikes in order to understand what is going wrong, and then maybe hot wire it without that particular component.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
So you have effectively, it takes some work. It takes probably about 30 minutes to an hour of work to do this. It is not just a single component that you have to sort of dive into the guts of this machine, but you're able to do it. And you're pretty confident that you're able to put them back, but it would also require some time to do so.
Is everybody okay with the fact that I'm doing this?
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
You're not turning it into a bomb or anything.
No.
I guess
Just making
that's
it
not a bad
harder
idea.
to steal.
We should get some plastic explosives just in case.
turn over like the table and some of the broken chairs to try and disguise them.
Hide it a little bit.
A little, as much as we can.
Yeah. And additionally, I just want to point out, this will stop the hover bikes from starting.
Yes.
And the wheels themselves will be locked up. But if someone has a means of
just
lifting this up and taking it somewhere else,
I mean, that was always going
parts.
to be true. Or if they want to like
just
smash
making
it
sure
up.
you're aware.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware. I feel like just making some effort to make sure my bikes aren't stolen.
Give that minimal level of like.
Yeah,
it's like no lock is perfect, but if you make it just annoying enough,
that's exactly
to get
what I was
past it,
thinking. Yes.
People aren't going to try and deal with it, and they'll find something else to do.
Exactly.
These hover bikes have to make it to the end game. We have to get through this entire campaign.
It's useful to have 2 motorcycles. Okay, they've been useful.
You're gonna turn them into some like killer drone, and I'm gonna hate.
I just
ever
like
giving you
having motorcycles.
They're
here.
extremely useful to get around from place to place quickly, and also considering the fact that they are hover bikes, they're allowed to go over rough terrain pretty easily as well, that a regular motorcycle wouldn't be able to. So you guys have done that. You've hidden the hover bikes where you want. All of you guys, all 5 of you are going to the Sharpclaw stronghold, right? Because this was the sort of the purpose of your trip to begin with. You guys have been staying pretty close to where you wanted to eventually end up. So it's only really about a 10-15 minute walk to this sort of area that Zuri described as sort of being Sharpclaws territory.
Oh, can we distribute some integrity to people? Is kind of that, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Do you have
there are
those stims on
5
you?
of us, 1 each.
Nona?
Yeah, do I? I mean, I could use it on someone else if they can't get to theirs. So probably
Kind of
still
keeping
be
up
useful for me
appearances.
to have one,
Mm-hmm.
Sure. All right.
right?
1 each. Integrity.
Okay, that's a 2d6 healing on a turn.
Does anyone need to have a heal skill in order to apply it? Is it a heal 0 or something? You familiar with that?
Let me look it up.
Not super important. We can keep going while
Yeah.
David looks that up.
Sure.
But so you guys have distributed things. You've handed out, I assume, some laser pistols in case things go south.
Mm-hmm.
There are, each one of you gets one. There was enough at the hideout in order to sort of hand those things out. And you guys are now in Sharpclaws territory. You look around, and it's fairly similar to where you guys previously were, the district that you were in before. One thing that you do notice more and more of is that the general people just sort of walking around, there are less and less humans and more Ursim. It makes sense because Cyril is an Ursim themselves and they run an Ursim sort of gang. So this is a little bit of like a Chinatown, but for Ursim, if that makes sense. Like a singular sort of group or race of people sort of conglomerate into this location. And Cyril is sort of the one of the de facto leaders of this area, if that makes sense.
It's a bear town.
Can you guys roll what is this going to be?
Is it going to be a wisdom notice check?
No, it's going to be a charisma connect check.
Oh, hell yeah.
You guys, so what this role is abstracting away is you are effectively as a group going to different people and chatting them up and saying, hey, I have some work for the Sharpclaws. Know where I could find them kind of deal? Or probably better than that, depending on the roles. But you're trying to get in contact with these Sharpclaws. Zuri as well will roll as well as Claire.
All right, everyone's
I stay with Claire as she walks up to random people on the street.
That's a good plan.
Okay, Claire got a 7.
Maybe we shouldn't let it be known for the whole town.
I got a 6.
5 for Nona.
8.
6. 8. Okay.
8.
That makes sense, Micah. You know these places. They may have seen you around a little bit. They're a little bit more open to talk to you. One of the Ursim that you're chatting up points you in the direction of where they think sort of Cyril is at the moment, and you guys head in that direction, I would assume.
Yeah.
Correct?
That's the plan.
As
All right.
we're as I'm walking with Claire over to things, kind of away from other people, I want to just kind of like tap her on the shoulder and go, so very quickly, first sign of trouble, if you think things are going south and you don't want to be there, make yourself do the thing, make yourself invisible, get out, wait in the alcove like we planned. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
just wanted to say, just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
I can do that.
Okay,
I can do this.
cool. Yeah, for sure.
Really
Easy.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
I will call out, this is Kirsten. I think my character, when asking people like, hey, you seen Cyril Sharpclaws? It's close enough that if they're like, no, go away, she's like, how about a Dr. Samantha Calvin? Anyone? I don't expect it to actually yield anything, but it feels correct for my character.
I see. Yeah. I'll have you roll. Give me another
Roll for
charisma.
Dr. Samantha Calvin.
That's a name I've not
She was a
Charisma
close
connect.
That's a name I have not heard in many years.
Oh, it got worse. 3.
As soon as you ask that, they just sort of start brushing you off. Like they know Cyril and was maybe willing to talk to you a little bit about them, but as soon as like you just start asking about some very obviously
Different person.
human name, they're like, I don't want to deal with you right now, and they start walking away. No one seems to know anything, and if they did, don't seem to be willing to talk to you about it.
That seems correct.
So Micah, you talk to one of these, a group of Ursim that just are sort of hanging around a corner, and they've seen you around. You know, you recognize one of them. You start talking to them, and they point you in the direction of where you need to go. And so you start heading over to where you know where the stronghold is. And as you guys get there, you see it appears to be. I mean, it's hard to see anything from where you guys are currently underground. It's not like there's a high-rise building behind them. You're unsure of what might be on the inside, but you'd see 2 large, and when I say large, I mean like large for Ursim, on either side of this fairly large door. Fairly nice. It's wooden, which you don't generally see around here. It has some,
Largeness to it.
No, it has a sense of like
largeness.
prestige to it. Like this is a place or a person that cares about appearances. They have sort of built this up. There's just a couple of groups of Ursim just sort of hanging around. You don't really see any other humans around. So immediately you guys stick out as at like a sore thumb. Like everyone is just sort of eyeing you, even the groups that are not directly in front of this ornate door.
There's like a lizard on the wall, and he's like, "What are you?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Shut up, lizard!"
I don't need your shit right now. And these two large Ursim are both also fairly well dressed, especially considering the circumstances of where they are. They all have like a suit and tie and a nice little like, not a bowler hat. What was the pointy one?
Fez.
No, I was
Not a
thinking
fez. Not a
trilby.
fez.
Not a
trilby,
fedora.
I think.
Okay.
so just real gangstery.
Yes.
That's real gangstery.
Absolutely, that is what I'm evoking
So
right now.
Sorry, does Cyril have a daughter? And is that daughter perhaps engaged? But not for much longer.
Are we intruding on any important dates? Check the calendar.
on the day of my daughter's wedding.
I'm a bear.
I'm a bear too, if you couldn't tell. So
I'm waiting on an answer. Sorry.
It's very important that we know this.
Zuri just sort of looks at you strangely, like he doesn't know why you're asking this question. Obviously, he doesn't get the reference. And they say, no, not that I know of.
I don't trust that, sorry.
But it's your fault. It's their fault if things go bad.
All right, well.
So, I assume you approach the door.
Yeah. I'll lead the way over. And
Are you taking a lead on this conversation, Micah?
Yeah,
One would hope.
Can I?
I know how to handle this.
So, what is your experience with the Sharpclaws and Cyril Sharpclaws? How familiar are you with them? How familiar are they with you? Are these a group of people that have worked with your group a couple of times before? Do you just sort of know each other in passing? Have you only really heard of them? Like, what is your relationship with
friends,
these
say
groups?
best friends.
Do it.
They do anything for you.
So
We're blood brothers.
our group has been around for a little while, for longer than since I've been a part of them, and has worked with the Sharpclaws a few times. But Vaughn is always the one that takes point when negotiating these kinds of things. So I am going to try and fake it because I've not been to one of these before.
Okay. Would these obviously some might be familiar with you, but would these specific ones might know your face, or just any general Sharpclaws, or is this more of like Vaughn would talk to them and I wouldn't be there?
No, I think that like our team is known in this area well enough that like they know, okay, I'm part of Vaughn's gang.
Okay.
But yeah, not something I've personally handled before.
All right.
Well, Jeff's got eyes.
Don't.
Jeff's rolling dice and has eyes.
I just rolled a specific type of thing.
No
A
shit.
die, Jeff.
Yes.
It's called.
A die.
It's a math rock.
There's just a system within Stars Without Number with just sort of when you meet certain NPCs, there's a level of how they will immediately treat you when you see them, whether it's neutral, hostile, or beneficiary kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like how they're feeling on that particular day.
The day of their daughter's wedding.
The day of their daughter's wedding.
Terrible choice.
After cocktail hour, have some hors d'oeuvres at least been consumed? Because you can't catch anybody on an empty stomach.
We're
on the day
right
of
in
wedding.
between.
Oh no!
A little tipsy, but also hangry. The worst. No,
The
all right,
caterers were late.
I'm gonna approach the door and like
Come
kind
back
of
next month.
try and do a wave so that like they don't think we're trying to sneak up or anything. It's like, hey,
Oh no.
And the bigger one of the two of them pipes up and says, "What do you want?"
hey, yeah, we're with Vaughn's team. We got some work for Cyril we'd like to talk about. How you doing today?
Hey,
Can you roll a charisma talk check?
God, are you good at this?
Do I talk? No.
You do not talk.
But you've been talking so many.
Doesn't mean I'm good at it. 7.
That's not bad.
That elicits a smirk from him and says, "The boss isn't seeing anyone right now."
Oh man, that's too bad. So we had this really great deal we kind of wanted to set up with him. Are you sure?
This Ursim, this has pitch blacks fur, looks over to the other one that it almost appears to be a twin almost, because all Ursim look the same to you, racist.
Wow.
You're just gonna sit there and call me
anti-racism.
I've been
Sorry.
told by God apparently that I'm racist.
God, it's found you
I'm
lacking.
sorry.
No.
Wow.
The twist.
Nine
I
for
couldn't-
anti-racism.
Like, excuse me, I live
I
here.
couldn't help myself.
All right.
And he the one that you were talking to does one of those little head nods towards the door, and the other one silently nods and opens the door and closes it behind him. And the big one steps in front of the door and says, "We'll see if you can talk to Tom." So
do I know who Tom is?
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I want you to roll a because you're semi-familiar with this group, but not necessarily completely. I want you to roll, let's say, an intelligence no check.
Okay. There's so many skills. I always have trouble tracking
Or an
down.
intelligence connect check,
Which
whichever
one's
one
that?
is better.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Brain connect. Mind link. One might say.
10.
Okay. So you are familiar with Tom Horn. Tom Horn is, the best way to describe him is like the lawyer of this group. He is the only human in the Sharpclaws. Very prestigious sort of position to be like a human within the Sharpclaws, because it sort of means they really value you so much that they can overlook the fact that you're non-Ursim, right?
How are his nails? Are they
How sharp are they?
Oh,
Filed.
They're
Into
filed.
points.
He's definitely more of the civilian type.
Got it.
He is the diplomat, or the sort of confidant of Cyril Sharpclaws. He is the one that sort of things get filtered through. He is not a fixer as in like when it comes to
Cleaning up a crime scene.
but like a fixer is in fixes relations, sort of deals with some of the underbelly stuff, but is a little bit more on the cleaner side of things.
He's figured out the permit for the stronghold.
Yeah, just general like legal things. He is the nicer face of, or the more legitimate face of the Sharpclaws. So the fact that they're immediately starting to talk with Tom is a pretty good start. That's pretty high up.
All right. Yeah. Great.
We'll wait here.
And so you guys are just hanging out in front of this doorway,
Yeah. Yeah.
waiting for just a response.
Yeah. I'll try and keep on talking to the big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long you been working here?
Probably coming up on 4 years now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Good
Nice.
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice area. Once you get used to it. Good
Oh,
people.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
people. Yeah, for sure. They're not from around here. You could probably tell.
Yeah. They don't seem to be.
I know.
I have an accent.
I'm from space.
Aren't we all?
And he looks at you and says, "You sure are." Meanwhile, Zuri and Claire, they're not saying anything. They're just sort of taking this all in and hanging out. And he speaks up and says, "I think I've seen you around before. Where I know you from?"
I'm around. Like I said, I'm kind of with Vaughn's crew. So I think I came through here one time, like last year. Maybe you saw me then. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm around. You ever get up to the what's it called? Rusty Lantern?
Yeah, it's a little bit outside of Ursim Town.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
I get it. I understand.
Well,
I didn't
No,
choose
no.
the name.
There.
I'm just
They have a home
I'm
planet
just a
name.
bear.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, there you go. Oh my God.
What was that you were saying earlier about racism, Jeffrey?
Yeah. Jacques.
Jacques.
This is a little Ursim me.
Wow, it sounds like he's describing his penis.
Oh no.
No, he's
Let's just.
All right.
He's not.
This conversation is canceled.
This conversation has been canceled.
Alex is pretty sure though that this guy is getting just a steady alcohol drip right into his veins, and he's getting drunker before our eyes.
How did you know?
It's
Crazy.
Oh god.
Didn't even need a wisdom perception check for that one.
Yeah, they don't tend to like our kind hanging around too much around there. Say we're a little too violent. You know what I'm saying?
What's your go-to pub then?
The Sharpclaws.
The Drunken Bear Claw.
Oh,
I love
like
a good
it.
bear claw.
Actually, so they
Yeah.
serve
My
donuts.
favorite,
Actually,
my favorite drink is the Cyril Sharp White Claw.
Oh, fantastic! I was really hoping you'd fit that in somewhere.
I've not tried that.
Anywho,
We'll have to try the local specialty sometime. Yeah,
Side note: outside of character, guys, we need to start a bar. It needs to be called the Drunken Bear Claw, and it needs to serve donuts to drunk people.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
how much money would
bear
you
claw.
make?
You would
That-
make a ton of money with that.
Right?
True.
That-
you
that-
could have a mascot that was a bear.
Jess just starts furiously taking notes.
What there was one other really good idea that we had earlier in the podcast that I think
Impossible.
had to do. No. It was
That
the
doesn't sound like us.
combination
Monkeys,
of
typewriters,
Avatar: The
things
Last Airbender and Firefly, and
Oh,
just
right.
having that sort of be our IP. And this is
Right.
also going to. This is
Just
now going
add
to
it
be our
under
bar.
there, yeah.
This is copyright. You're not allowed to take the Drunken Bear
my
Claw.
idea.
This is
Our
come
idea.
from this podcast specifically.
idea.
Anyway,
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
yeah.
time to
Our
time to
group
get-
is spitballing this also while we're just passing the time. Like, hey, they might have that bar here, but we could do that idea on a different planet. Sell donuts. Yeah. All right.
We're starting to change.
Let's move on.
And as the conversation starts to evolve, you hear a knock on the door, and he turns around, opens it, and talks to someone just on the inside, and says, "You're good to go." He steps to the side and opens the door for you guys to walk through. I
Okay.
assume you
Nice.
walk through.
Yes.
Well, we'll get to drink sometime.
Yeah. Take it easy. Let's get a drink sometime. Definitely.
Yeah, my name's
Stop doing this to yourself.
Horace.
I like it.
I did
Horace Sharpclaw.
Hi, Horace. You're well. Okay, we're walking in now. I'm gonna assume he's related to Cyril somehow. Let's keep going.
Bluttered by Mary.
I will say one of the things about Ursim is they tend to be a part of clans. Their last names, they're not really handed down family to family. It is generally something that you get from being a part of a clan. So any Ursim that you would meet here would probably
be
be
Sharpclaw.
known as Sharpclaw. They might be related directly to Cyril, either as a cousin or something, but because they are a part of the Sharpclaw, their last name will be Sharpclaw. Similar to any Ursim that you would meet as part of the Paragon Freelancers, their last name would be Paragon.
Okay.
Huh. I guess it never came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, don't assume just because he has the last name Sharpclaw.
Got it.
All right.
that
They're
it's
related by blood. Yeah. Cool.
My bad.
So you guys start walking through, and compared to the other hovel that you found earlier, this knocks it on its ass. Whatever the saying is.
I mean,
Basically,
yeah.
it is for buildings. It is this is a beautiful room that you open up to. It is carpeted. It has like these nice ornate trimmings along the side of it. It is at the moment completely and utterly filled with smoke, as you see just dotted around the inside of this are round tables of Ursim just hanging out, some like playing cards, smoking cigars, having drinks in front of them. All of them fairly similarly dressed to the two guys who were sitting out front. Some of them are a little bit more relaxed. They have their coats taken off. And as soon as you guys start walking in, eyes start being drawn to you. You notice the person that you immediately was talking to, Horace, on the inside is the second Sharpclaw that was out there, and directs you to sort of follow him. And you walk down this carpeted walkway down towards the back of this sort of bar or smoking area kind of deal. What are you rolling?
Constitution.
Oh,
Alex is coughing.
As folks at the tables are kind of giving us side eye, I'm gonna like make a little eye contact and give a little head nod at them, like, hey,
Yeah.
How you doing?
I belong here kind of deal.
Yeah.
Seeing Micah doing this, I will immediately start
Start
doing it.
mimicking
So
it?
every single person gets a head nod.
Oh,
Ursim. Ursim.
Flamio.
Sharpclaw.
As we are tipping our hats that you can't see.
Hotman.
Hot man. Flamio, hot man.
There you go.
And so you were led into this back room where you are familiar with Cyril Sharpclaws. You don't immediately see him. This is another open area. It appears to have a couple of more just Ursim dotted around. They appear to be more nicely dressed. Like this is maybe some of the higher ups of this particular group. And out of a side door walks a man, which is surprising considering the nature of the where everyone else that you've sort of seen around here. But you're familiar, Micah, with this. This must be Tom Horn.
It's Tom.
It's Tom.
I've heard so much about him and his nails.
And rude.
It's normal human nails.
is very normal human
Well
nails.
manicured, boring.
And let me describe this man for you
Yes.
now. You see an unassuming, average height, slightly balding man. His face almost appears to be in a constant state of indifference to whatever is happening around him. Despite the seemingly average draw on the genetic lottery, the man clearly cares about his appearance. His suit is unnaturally clean considering the amount of hair that would probably be just sort of around this area because of the Ursim that he is with, as if it has just come from the dry cleaners. His tie falls directly down the middle of his wrinkle-free shirt from a perfect triangular knot, all the way down to the shoes that you can practically see yourselves in. This man is very well dressed. And he comes up to you and says, I understand you have a proposition for Mr. Cyril.
Hi, Tom. Yeah, great to see you. Yes, we we do. How you been? It's been a long time since
I'm fine. Normally we do this work through Vaughn, but I understand Vaughn is indisposed at the moment.
you heard. Yes. Yeah, that is a little bit of a thing. So that happened, and kind of off the heels of that, you may or may not have also heard some of the rest of our group also got into a little bit of trouble with the authorities and is in their jail right now.
I've heard of the raid, yes.
Yes, quite, quite. And yeah, we're trying to put something together to possibly show them some freedom, and of course, we know that Cyril has the capability for helping with these kinds of things, and naturally, of course, we'd be willing to pay in money or favors. But of course, you know, we had this situation. We thought, who else could possibly handle this for us better than dear old Cyril?
And as you've gone through like this whole spiel, as you're talking to this man, he is you can't read him at all. It's almost like a perfect poker face. He's just engaging in all of what you're saying. He's hearing it, but he doesn't seem to react in the slightest. And he speaks up and says, very well. In order for you to see Mr. Cyril, you must be unarmed. And I see you must be armed at this point in time. Would you be so kind as to hand your weapons off to the fine gentleman over there? And he gestures to one of the Ursim that was sort of side on either side of the door, not partaking in the merriment on the inside of this, probably another guard.
Yeah, of course. Come on, guys.
Again?
Alex.
People keep making me leave my guns.
Yeah,
They'll
Alex
give them back
stole
when we
his,
leave.
It turns out people don't feel safe when there are guns in the room.
Yeah, Alex had his
I can
gun in like his
understand
backpack. He just
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
guys,
no,
you guys
no,
all
no.
go over and hand these. Sadly, you don't have a bunch of guns, so you
Hopefully.
can't do that meme where
Yeah, you take them all out.
You take them all out, like, oh, I got one for my backpack, and here's one on my on my right hip, and here's one on my left hip, and now here's a knife that is like in.
Nona is secretly hoping that when she gets into that room, they will encounter a person who will just give her a third gun, because that's how it seemed to work earlier. You leave a gun, you get another gun.
You know, sometimes you just need a gun.
Sometimes you just need a gun.
But not here.
But not here.
Mm-mm.
So you guys all do that. Don't really make a fuss about it. So people are just generally more at ease. It appears the couple of tables that are in here are paying less attention to you than when you first came in. Just the fact of talking with Tom and seeing he has accepted you has sort of eased the atmosphere a little bit. And there is one more room. So there was the room that Tom himself came out of, and he motions for you to follow him into another room that is even farther into the back. I assume you guys follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, very nice.
This is the time where we just split off and we run in different directions. They'll never be able to get all of us. Just kidding.
And the door opens, and let me describe the scene a little bit. This appears to be sort of an office. It is a smaller location. It very similar to some of the other offices that you came across in like the Glasgow 5 station, where it's got the big sort of wooden desk. Behind it is sitting an Ursim. I'll get to him in a minute.
All right.
Oh, he doesn't have the chair swiveled towards the back, so he does the dramatic turnaround.
He is currently working on something on the desk itself.
Missed opportunity.
The trimming on the walls is a very pretty gold. There are these sort of velvet curtains on either side of a faux window that is mocking this very natural sunlight coming in. In one of the corners, you see this hovering cube that slowly rotates, and above it is a hologram of a string quartet that is just slowly like playing. And actually, as you walk in, they specifically look at you and notice you, but continue playing.
Well, that's terrifying.
Also, within this room itself, other than the large Ursim sitting at the desk, is a small orb that appears to be flying from banister to banister to different sort of high up, perpendicular level. I can't think of the word right now. Surfaces. Yeah. But basically, it's dusting. It has a little duster in front of it. It's holding a duster and like a tractor beam and just sort of dusting things. It is cleaning and tidying up.
3D Roomba.
Yeah.
I need to get me one of those for my army.
Voomba.
And let me now describe the Ursim that you see before you.
Oh, naturally.
It is an Ursim male in a very expensive suit that seems to belie his past, considering that his face is utterly covered in scars that you can see down to the skin because normally the fur covers it. He is wearing a tight-fitted three-piece suit, not because he couldn't afford a better fitting one, it appears, but because he still wants to show what he has underneath the suit itself. It is almost sort of a status symbol of just, look at the size of me. This Ursim is probably on the size, if not maybe a little bit bigger than the big one that you saw outside. This is a hulking mass of a creature.
Some girth.
And
oh Lord,
sitting on his
chunky bear.
sitting on his face is a half-framed horned rim glasses perched atop his nose on a pitch black furred face.
All right.
And he looks up at you from whatever he was doing and looks over at the hologram, does one of the kill it signals, and they stop and sort of sit in their seats, and the hologram goes away, and the light within the spinning cube sort of dims a little bit. And then he whistles over. Bears whistle. He whistles over to the orb, and it flies into a wrist-mounted device and just sort of perches there into almost like a watch. So it was an orb, but it's able to seem to flatten itself into a disc onto his wrist.
So
And
like
Neat.
Ticket to Go string quartet, basically.
Or Ticket to Go
Like a
Roomba.
live stream.
Oh, the
Oh,
Roomba.
Roomba.
My bad. I got
yeah,
them
the Roomba.
confused.
The string quartet did turn off.
Yeah, I was picturing the hologram projector being the thing that shrunk, not the Roomba.
Right.
Alex is staring at that Roomba wristwatch like nothing he's ever looked at before.
Same.
Just has his eyes locked on it.
And this Ursim male speaks. I heard you have a job for us.
Mr. Sharpclaw, sir.
Cyril is fine.
Cyril, hi. Yes. As I was just telling Tom over there, I look over my shoulder and kind of wave at Tom if he's still there.
Yeah, Tom is in the room with you guys. He closed the door behind him and he's sitting right next to the door, similarly to how the guards were sort of stationed. He seems to be stationed in the room with you now.
I head nod at Tom.
Okay, yeah. So I was just telling Tom, as you may or may not be aware, some of the people out of my group, Von McRaven's group, are in police custody right now. And we thought that perhaps with your particular resources and skills, you might be able to help us with that with appropriate compensation, of course, Sir Cyril.
And he ponders this and says, I don't know you. I know Vaughn. I heard Vaughn had a little accident in Corstia. What do you know of that?
Yeah, that, actually I was kind of out on a mission at the time, so I don't know a ton about that. But, Vaughn is an amazing leader. He had the sense there was something he had to do out there. Sounds like things might have gone a little bit south for him. Our team is kind of trying to take things one thing at a time right now. Obviously, he will be totally vindicated in time. He wasn't doing anything wrong out there, I'm sure. But for now, we're trying to focus on getting our team out so we can kind of take a next step. And hopefully you'll be able to talk to Vaughn again very soon.
And he thinks about this and does the power pose where he puts an elbow on either side of the desk and his fingers interlocked in front of his face and looks at you directly and says, I tend to work with people that I know, or for a high price. You are Vaughn's people, but I've never worked directly with you. What are you willing to offer, and what's your plan?
So to clarify a little bit for a second out of character, so he hasn't worked with Zuri either, from our understanding, because Zuri is in the room with us.
What he is referring to is the fact that leader to leader, he has worked with Vaughn.
Right.
He knows Vaughn. He takes Vaughn at sort of his word because they have worked together. What he's effectively saying is, I know you know Vaughn, and Vaughn might vouch for you if he was here, but I haven't worked with you directly, kind of deal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that
Like
totally makes sense.
you very much may have seen him around, maybe not met with him directly, maybe as like a bodyguard for Vaughn once or twice. So the only reason why you're meeting with him right now is because you have that in, right?
Yeah. So this might be a good time to ask, because I've been making some slight assumptions. What would I know about the actual things that Cyril does have to offer? What has Vaughn worked with him on in the past?
Yeah, certainly. That is a very reasonable thing to ask. So what you know about the Sharpclaws is obviously they basically control this district of Ursim. Anything that goes in or out or happens within it, they know about. As to their business itself, they are really known for supplying drugs of some kind. You're not familiar with what type of drugs, And additionally, they smuggle pre-tech artifacts in and out of Orisiame, Strania, Brees. Like they if you need some kind of fancy pre-tech artifact and you need like them to get it or sell it or something like that, they're generally like your go-tos. One of the benefits of just the cash flow that they do have means that they do have people in different forms of law enforcement, whether that is judges or police officers themselves, or even higher up to maybe some politicians. They have them in their pocket. They are paying them in order to overlook certain aspects of the Sharpclaws' dealings.
Okay,
So you
great.
know, basic mobster mafia stuff.
Great, but not so much in the like send a guy to shoot up your house kind of stuff.
They
Depends on
they
the guy.
they
That's all the-
as part of that, that's not they're not hitmen.
Yeah.
The only reason why they would go and attack someone is if they posed some threat to their business, as they would call it in quotation marks.
Yeah, it's a business.
So other people who are trying to start up their own criminal enterprises might be targets, but you wouldn't go to them for some assassination or like, I don't like my old lady. Can you kill her for me, please? That's not the kind of thing they do. They only do violent acts when it's sort of to protect their own interests.
All right. Yeah. So I was thinking maybe with some of the connections you have with the police, we might be able to arrange for a guard not to be around at a particular time in the near future, and maybe we could get my folks out of the prison.
And he thinks about this and speaks up and says, from what I understand about your friends, is they are currently being held in one of the larger departments within Brees, ones that are able and equipped to handle psychic individuals, I assume like yourself. This place is not impenetrable, but one guard missing their shift isn't going to mean anything. This is a building full of people, detectives, and maybe even silence operatives.
Yeah. Maybe we gave this insufficient thought ahead of time, but I am confident that we can put together a solid plan. Alex, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, there are some things that we talked about. My name is Alix. Might I call you Cyril?
Hello, Alix.
I'm Micah's Tom, basically.
All right.
That's some kind of a quick, paltry definition of my duties. I'm also an idea person. There are a couple of thoughts I have depending on what you yourself can offer, which I am sure is quite a lot. I've walked through some of your stronghold, and honestly, I'm blown away. I haven't seen anything quite like it. One guard might not be enough in public areas. As you correctly guessed, I myself am also a psychic, as is Micah. We can go in if we so choose. Maybe get the group into solitary, into a less populated area, and use Zuri's abilities to get them out from there instead of just out there. From there, it's a couple more connections, a backup plan just in case things go poorly. That is what I'm thinking. We have, however, would need more time to hash out all of the details.
So, stepping back real quick, you're suggesting a guard that is on the payroll brings some amount of people in, kind of like a Trojan horse, and probably Zuri definitely among them. And Zuri, while under that guard's supervision and no one else's, will be taking them out of wherever they are being held via teleportation.
Yeah, not necessarily the guard. I don't know how solitary tends to work, but if it is a secluded area that will hold a X amount of people, and we can get some quiet time to stage the breakout using the teleportation abilities, that seems like a quiet, non-lethal way to deal with that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he did say he was not feeling up to more than one person.
Doesn't have to be now.
That's fair.
We can fix him up. I aside from ideas, I have some knowledge of medicine.
I've got ideas and drugs.
A reasonable plan. He looks over at Zuri, who is still kind of holding their side, and says, "Your teleportation man looks like he needs some time, and from the intel that I have, they're planning on moving your friends in probably a half a day to 2 days."
Well, then we attack the truck, right?
The starship?
Yeah, sure.
That might
I
not
thought
be
it was
the
on planet. Thought it was on planet, to be fair.
Yeah, so they will be probably taking them back to Ostia across the sea, in all likelihood to Principa itself, the capital of Orisiame. If you're willing to try and attack an armed escort.
Yeah, Nona, that might not be the
Again,
soundest
I
idea.
thought it was a truck.
No, I know. And
Out of character.
reasonable thinking, Nona, but maybe let's. It's probably easier to attack the prison itself.
Fine, I'll go back to listening.
Alix, is there any way you can maybe expedite Zuri feeling better?
Yeah, we have the integrity to kind of handle things, I think. Yeah.
So this does hinge a little bit on you, pal, if you think you're up for it, Zuri, but we can try and get you patched up a bit better, get our friends out.
And they speak up and they say, I can certainly try. It might be useful to have other people in there, but then that's one more person to take out. If things go south, they'll just have me again.
Yeah, you can't go in alone.
I'm thinking outside of the box here again, which is probably not super useful, but I do technically have robot parts on the ship. We could send robots.
Oh, no.
I think our bottleneck here is still Zuri and their ability to teleport.
No, my point being, if we need to do support without the risk, if we could get together one or two robots that are being supportive and then Zuri teleports and then the robots, it doesn't matter because they're being controlled by me.
If Nona wants to get a start on the robot army now, by all means.
I'm exploring options here.
Anyways,
That's all I'm saying.
We're still having the conversation. So that's the rough plan, it sounds like, Cyril.
The specifics can be hashed out later, but what do you have to offer the Sharpclaws? Because as I understand it, Vaughn was the leader of your group, was the one who was able to funnel in credits or useful information. What do you have to offer us?
Well, we have some credits. We just recently had a pretty good payout. The four of us here are a bit of a little enterprising group ourselves. If you need something done, I'm sure that we could certainly help you out of equal or slightly greater value.
Here's the coupon.
And as you say that, you see the corners of his cheeks sort of pull back to show this row of fangs.
I've made a mistake.
Is he angry?
It's a smile.
Is this a human thing or an animal thing? Because teeth mean different stuff.
I understand. It's a smile.
Fantastic.
He seems to like the idea of having a couple of psychics of
and also their friends.
and also, well, at least 3 psychics that he's known about.
It's true.
And also, their
also
friend.
I'm here who's bad
And
at
Nona.
ideas. Yeah.
And he seems to be excited with that idea. And says, all right, we're going to need some credits to, what's the word? What's the word?
Grease the wheels.
Yeah, grease
There you go.
the wheels.
You're welcome. I'm
Oh,
contributing
thank you.
again.
Thank you, Nona.
No, that was not Nona.
My favorite.
My favorite.
Pat.
Grease the wheels. But get that and that later favor, which will be called upon. We might be able to work something out.
Sounds awesome. Great.
And so
We can hash it out with Tom.
Yeah, exactly. He nods over to Tom, who opens the door and sort of motions for you guys to leave, as it appears that Cyril has already lost interest in the conversation and has gone back to what he was doing before. Yep.
On our way out, I would like to turn to him and say, you said you know Vaughn, right?
He looks up and says, yes.
Do you have any idea what the word insert word here means?
And he looks up at you and just sort of tilts his head and says, what did you just say?
Darn.
Gonna grab Nona and say, don't bother the man. Come on. Thank you. All right. Great talking to you. All right. See you around. It's been great. Bye. Leaving.
And he goes back to whatever he was doing before, as Tom starts to motion you guys out and says, I shall be in contact with you. Here's my compad number. We shall figure out the specifics, but we will be able to get one of your men into the location via one of our men, and the rest will be up to you.
Understood.
Yeah. Excellent. Awesome. Great.
We'll be in contact, as he sort of motions you out of the stronghold, where you find Horus and the other Ursim.
He doesn't get a name.
Hey,
He
but
doesn't get a name. He hasn't told you his name yet.
didn't catch your name.
Yeah.
Grant.
All right.
I want somebody to be named Barry.
Damn it. That was a missed opportunity.
It really
It
was. You
was.
really messed up. All right, Grant Taurus. Hey, listen, it's been great. You guys keep up the great work. We're out.
And they give you nods, and you guys, I assume, head off. So what's the plan now? You've been effectively told that you have between half of a day and 2 days when that transport will get here to move. Zuri is still in a bit of a state. What's the plan here? What are you guys talking about?
Right.
So we're heading back to our little alcove, first of all.
I got robots. That's all I got.
Nona, sounds like you're trying to put together some robots.
I don't even know
Alix.
if they'll be useful, but you know.
You're going to try and maybe patch up Zuri some more, maybe just with integrity. I don't know if your biopsionics can help push that further or not. And Micah does not have much to do in preparation except try and give moral support.
So
Come
I
on,
would
guys,
I
you
would
can
also
do it.
just like to say real quick, when it comes to systematically what's happening with Zuri right now, and what he was saying through flavor rather than actual mechanics, is there is the idea that if you go below 0 hit points or are mortally wounded at some point and you are stabilized, you can heal over a period of time. But if you then go below 0 hit points again, you do not get the chance to sort of bleed out. You will die outright. So effectively, that is what he's saying. They can walk around, they can do things, but if they do get below that HP again, they will outright die.
Is
Right.
that
And
permanent?
no,
is that
it is something that goes away with bed rest.
Got it.
Or maybe biopsionics. I'm not super familiar.
Why
Alex,
not both?
David.
What,
You-
what are we talking about? Healing.
But yeah, effectively removing that if they were brought back from the brink of death and brought back to 0 again where they immediately die. Is that something that biopsionics sort of changes? I don't know if that...
I don't think so.
Doesn't doing
it's just
biosonics add system strain? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the same thing
Yeah.
at all.
They would have some system strain from the heal checks. but probably not enough to. I think it's quite a bit of system strain before it gets fully filled, and and again, system strain is a thing that wears off with time. I'm not super familiar with biopsionics because it's just sort of the healer class, not the hero class.
So you can say whatever.
It can
you
be
want.
both.
So
lie your ass off, David.
Let me keep in mind I can look this up later.
But will you?
That is always the question, and sometimes I will, just to keep you on your feet.
Yeah, so using biosonics on somebody makes them take system strain. So does integrity. Integrity doesn't require a heal check or anything like that. It's just a flat 2d6 plus 2, add a system strain. And if you can't add a system strain, it doesn't heal. So that's going to be Alix's first course of action.
Yeah. I'll look into the rules later, but I will say that if you expend an effort now, I know as a bioscion, you can immediately stabilize. Do you repair or do you heal them any amount when you use your biopsionics?
Yes, I'm high enough level that I do actually heal HP.
So I'm going to say that if you are able to stitch him up via biopsionics, even though it will tick up his system strain a little bit, it won't be enough to go overboard. The healing will go through, and he will not immediately die from going down to 0. But if he does go down to 0 when no one else is around, they may effectively die.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use integrity to do the HP?
Let me look up. How much do you guys system strain do you guys have?
I have 9.
Yeah, you should. And it only adds 1 system strain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should be able to use integrity just fine.
Okay, I'll use my dose.
So you use a dose of integrity, but are you also going to use an effort of biopsionics to sort of shore him up just a tad more? So if he goes below 0, he doesn't die outright?
Nope.
Oh,
Does integrity not handle that? I wasn't. That's kind of what my question was.
That's what I was saying. That I don't think regular medication does that. I do think biopsionics might do that. I need to look it up later, but that's what I'm saying right now.
Nope.
You don't want to use your biopsionics in order to do that?
Nope.
Okay.
Cool.
That's a choice.
I mean, it's a very fair choice. I'll call out.
Being there, I'm going to ask Alix, like, hey, is this everything you can really do for them?
Yeah, just kind of in the moment, I think so.
Yeah, the drugs will patch them right up.
Mm-hmm.
I can add my drugs if it helps.
I'm not sure more drugs is the solution, but all right, Alix. If
more drugs might be the solution sometimes.
Is it here?
No.
Oh God, Jeff.
I was just making a general statement.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust Alix's medical judgment then, and say fine.
So,
how's Claire doing?
I
missed her voice.
I looked briefly into Cyril's mind.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I thought we talked about this. That's bad manners.
No. It's good. It's good.
It's useful, but it's bad manners.
Hush.
I know. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Morality is weakness. Leaving the body.
It's all right, hon. What did you find?
It's not relevant to what we're doing, but apparently what they manufacture, the drug is reverie.
Yeah, that pretty much tracks. Again, we don't work with them a lot, just on specific jobs where we kind of need Cyril's kind of help.
They don't seem to be good people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
He also didn't even know what the word meant, so it's not useful.
Yeah, no, I know. We don't associate with the Sharpclaws that much, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she sort of nods at that.
We could recruit a bear army.
Nona's having all kinds of thoughts.
I think they already have a bear army.
I can bear arms and bear army.
There you go. No, they have a bear army. We don't have a bear army.
Oh,
Is what
okay.
I'm saying. We could have one.
Well, you
Probably a lot harder to have than a robot army. But
So I assume you guys were heading back to where you were at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our alcove.
How are my
hovel.
bikes?
How are the bikes?
The bikes are fine.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
we did it.
It doesn't appear to be that anyone seemed to have found them. Whatever you used to sort of drape over top of them has not been disturbed. You guys weren't gone all that long, only
Excellent.
about an hour. And you have this time to sort of hash out what the plan is. Zuri is in a state. They are full health, but if they go below that again very soon, they will outright die. And you guys have some sort of in when it comes to the Sharpclaws. And so all of that is where we will be left with next episode.
Hooray.
Because we are ending right now.
Oh, are
Yes.
we?
Oh,
I can
yes.
tell with the sum up voice that you do
This is
always.
my sum up voice. I don't know how else to wrap up a session. Help me. I'm melting.
I know, Jeff, this can be a real pain in my neck. You didn't say, and that is where we're going to end today's episode. Or we're going to put the outro music in.
And that is where we'll end today's episode.
Thank you.
Now we gotta talk. Wait, don't add the music. Now there's double music.
Oh no!
Very confusing.
One more take.
All right, let me take that again. And that
We don't
is where we'll end
do
today's
double
Wait, don't
takes.
episode.
Kirsten talked over Jeff.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but-
no,
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 you
do it again,
we gotta
do it
get
again.
silence. And that is where we'll end. Oh shit! Save it.
We'll clean it in post. It's fine.
No, it's over. It's done. The moment passed.
This song is